Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, Mr. President Emeritus, colleagues, graduating students, and family members assembled here today. Very seldom does a university professor have the great privilege of introducing one of his former students for an honorary degree, but this grace has fallen to me today. Sheila Grant, at the time already a registered nurse and the mother of 3 lovely children, turned up as a student in my Canadian Studies course in 1975, her first at Trent University. This began a warm friendship spanning now almost 4 decades, which witnessed her completion of both undergraduate and graduate degrees in Canadian Studies and History. Subsequently, among her many other roles, Sheila Grant has served as an adjunct professor and research associate at Trent, including even a return to the very classroom she served as an instructor in that very same first course. But Sheila Grant's influence reaches far beyond the halls of Trent University. A fellow of the Royal Canadian Geographical Society, she is also the author of 3 vitally important books: Sovereignty or Security, 1988, Arctic Justice, 2002, and most recently, Polar Imperative, published to national and international acclaim in 2010. Indeed, Polar Imperative was nominated for both the Writers' Trust of Canada's Shaughnessy Cohen Prize for Political Writing and the Canadian Historical Association's Sir John A. Macdonald Award for the best book in Canadian history. Polar Imperative received the Lionel Gelber Prize for the best English language book on global affairs, the J.W. Defoe Book Prize for nonfiction, and the Canadian Authors Association Leela Common Award for Canadian history. All of Sheila Grant's titles focus our attention on the Arctic, each with a compelling argument to recognize the responsibility of all, and particularly all Southern Canadians, to understand the richness and ecological complexity of a region that constitutes over 40% of the nation's landmass. This region is also home to the very special worlds of its Indigenous First Peoples, so threatened by a logic of insatiable development that understands value in what we dig out of the ground from under the sea over the health of the environment that sustains us. Sheila Grant reminds us of the extent to which the United States has been involved historically in protecting the high Arctic, and how we Southern Canadians have been complacent for too long, allowing our ignorance of this beautiful space and of our fellow citizens, its Inuit inhabitants, to exist in a kind of out-there limbo, unrewarded by our education system that privileges the apparently pragmatic over the rather more demanding understanding. Her work draws attention to the impact of global warming on the Arctic, in particular demonstrating the myriad reasons why Canadian legislators must do more to support the international chorus endorsing stronger measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Her work explains how global warming threatens Canadian sovereignty in the Arctic, making accessible in summer a previously all but inaccessible icebound Northwest Passage to an international shipping industry wholly uninterested in Canada's tenuous historic claims to a territorial strait through the island archipelago. Sheila Grant demonstrates conclusively that legal boundaries are no longer sufficient to protect our heritage from a world grown increasingly greedy. She leaves Canadians, and especially the kind of young people who we have come here to celebrate today, with the challenge of leading the world by our example in a renewed commitment to understanding that the health of the Arctic and the well-being of those who know it as their homeland is essential to the health of the planet and our collective future. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you for the degree Doctor of Letters, honoris causa, Sheila Dawn Grant.